language. It's just so fundamental, isn't it? It's identity, history, emotion, all wrapped up. Shapes how we talk, sure, but also how we see ourselves.
Definitely. And that leads to this really interesting challenge for so many vibrant local languages today.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How do you take all that beautiful depth, that texture, and move it, beyond just talking, beyond the home, the market?
Uh-huh.
How do you make it visible, present, something you can't ignore in like the everyday public space?
Well, that's precisely the dynamic we're diving into today. Our source material is this fascinating insight campaign called Hiligaynon Insight, Wear Your Language.
Okay.
And it documents this cultural movement that's all about making a really bold, visible statement of Ilonggo Insight. We're looking at a shift, really.
A shift? How so?
From just hearing the culture of the language to actually wearing it, interacting with it physically day to day.
Okay, so for you listening, here's our mission. We're going to unpack the thinking behind this whole movement. It's rooted in the Western Visayas region of the Philippines. And look, this isn't just, some slick ad campaign. It feels like a really purposeful push. Taking Hiligaynon, and that's the Ilonggo people's language, and making it something people wear with pride.
Yeah, and understanding that local context, the Western Visayas, the Ilonggo people, Hiligaynon language, it's key.
Yeah.
Because this is intensely local.
But with maybe wider lessons.
I think so, absolutely. Now, the source material itself points out this core tension, the thing that really sparked this whole project.
Okay, what's the tension?
It says, and I'm quoting loosely here, "For too long, the beautiful depth of our language and culture has only been spoken."
Okay. So it's that feeling of invisibility, like all this richness is there, but unless you're actually in the conversation.
Exactly. It stays hidden. You don't see it walking down the street.
Right. So if the problem is being unseen, the solution they landed on is visibility through stuff you can touch.
Spot on. Physical apparel. It hinges on this collaboration between a cultural movement, Ilonggo Insight, Pamati Local, and local creators.
Pamati Local.
Yeah.
You need to dig into that name, too.
Yeah, we will. But first, the product. They're making premium statement clothing. The source points specifically to something called the Hiligaynon phrase statement t-shirt as the main vehicle.
Okay, a statement t-shirt. Why apparel, though? Why not, posters or online ads?
Well, think about it. Apparel is strategic. It's not like a digital ad that just flashes by, right?
Sure.
And it's not static like a mural on a wall. When you put these phrases on a shirt, on fabric, you give the language.
Yeah.
Substance. Materiality.
Huh. So it moves from just being spoken, this private thing, to being like a public billboard that walks around.
Precisely. The t-shirt becomes this little piece of advocacy. It's mobile.
That makes a lot of sense. It travels with the person. It forces you to look, maybe ask,
Yeah.
a walking conversation starter.
Exactly.
Okay, let's pause on that phrase you mentioned, Pamati Local. The source links it to the ongoing conversation, but what's the feel of it? What does it really mean there?
Right, Pamati Local. It translates roughly to listen locally, or maybe local feeling, local awareness. It's like an instruction, Tune in. Pay attention to the local vibe, the cultural heartbeat, what the community is saying.
So when the campaign is called Ilonggo Insight, Pamati Local, it's pushing people to both listen to and show off that local Hiligaynon insight.
Yeah, that's the idea. By making these statements wearable, they're challenging the community, saying, hey, own this, show this specific part of our identity.
That really reframes it. It's not just buy a cool shirt. It's like a cultural challenge to yourself. And then the campaign asks, it asks the listener, ano ang Hiligaynon na ginadala mo subong?
Which means,
what Hiligaynon are you carrying now?
Wow. That really turns clothing into a sort of commitment, a physical statement that you belong.
It ties identity straight to action. You're not just saying the words, you're embodying a piece of the language, of philosophy, just by getting dressed.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. We've talked strategy, the why apparel part. Now let's get into the actual linguistic gold they picked.
The specific words, yeah. These aren't random choices, are they? The source suggests they're specific, emotionally loaded Hiligaynon concepts, like portable feelings.
Absolutely. They're trying to capture these really nuanced Ilonggo moods, showing the kind of depth that, frankly, often gets lost if you just translate it literally.
Okay, let's break them down. The source highlights 3. First one, Malambing, described as carrying the gentle spirit.
Malambing. It's such a lovely word. It's more than just kind or nice. In Hiligaynon culture, it points to this inherent softness, an affectionate way of being, a gentleness. It's seen as pretty central to the Ilonggo character.
So wearing Malambing is like Declaring the gentleness is part of who you are. Celebrate.
Exactly, or celebrating that specific emotional quality, making it visible.
But couldn't that be seen as simplifying things?
Yeah.
Reducing a whole complex identity down to one word on a shirt? If you want depth, is one word enough?
That's a fair point and a critical one.
Oh,
Maybe if it's stopped there. But the power, I think, is in the context. These words on shirts act like anchors for language. Yeah. They start the conversation. The wearer then gets to explain, look, this isn't just gentle. It's the Hiligaynon idea of gentleness, Malambing. The shirt doesn't end the conversation. It demands it.
Okay, I see. It's a prompt. That sets up the second phrase nicely then. Balatyagon. The source says, this means having the deep emotional core.
Balatyagon. This one's powerful. It really gets at that deep inner life. It can just mean feeling or emotion, sure, but emphasizing the deep emotional core that suggests sensitivity, intuition, a real capacity for connection. Good feelings, bad feelings, the whole spectrum.
So it's about valuing that inner richness.
I think so. Wearing Balatyagon makes a statement about being emotionally honest, maybe intellectually honest too. It's like saying, yeah, I value the complexity of my feelings.
Celebrating psychological depth with just one word.
Okay.
But the third one, this is where it gets really intriguing, Ambot.
What?
The source just says, feeling the need to say Ambot.
Ambot. For me, this is the most brilliant one.
Why? What does it mean?
It translates to, I don't know, or sometimes maybe. Often it comes with like a little shrug, uncertainty, maybe even evasion.
Okay, so why would you put, I don't know, on a T-shirt as a statement of cultural pride? Seems counterintuitive.
Doesn't it? But think bigger picture. So many cultures, especially when facing outside pressures, feel this need to project certainty, right? Efficiency. Clear answers all the time.
Yeah, sure. Confidence is valued.
So wearing Ambot, could it be a subtle kind of resistance?
Resistance.
How?
By taking that moment of, I don't know, that pause, that acknowledgement of ambiguity and saying, yeah, this is a valid cultural mood too. It pushes back against that pressure to always have the perfect answer.
I get it. It's honest. It's real.
It's totally real. It's vernacular. It says life is complicated and sometimes it's okay, even necessary, to just say Ambot. It turns a simple phrase into a statement about accepting complexity.
So the genius here is capturing these universal human states, gentleness, deep feelings, even just uncertainty, but filtering them through this super specific, local, Hiligaynon lens. Exactly. Your clothes aren't just covering you, they're broadcasting your mood, your state of being, while also championing your heritage.
Okay, that makes sense. So let's shift to the next bit. The mechanics, the economics, the advocacy. The source is clear. This is more than just merchandise.
That phrasing is deliberate. Crucial signaling, really.
Because it positions the wearer not just as someone who bought a thing, but as an active supporter, an advocate.
Spot on. You touched on that earlier. And it feeds directly into the business model they describe.
How does that work?
Well, it's basically structured around supporting local commerce. The goal isn't just promoting the language, it's also about economic health for the community.
Two goals then, language promotion and local economy.
Exactly. The source stresses that the purpose is keeping that conversation, the Pamati Local, going everywhere the shirts go, making them mobile dialogue platforms.
Right.
But just as important is the transaction itself. It's about supporting the local creators who make the shirts.
Got it. So when you buy a shirt, you're not just getting fabric and ink, you're investing in the local creative scene. How do they communicate that? What's the call to action?
It's direct, and it feels culturally plugged in. They say, Mabakal na.
Which means?
By now. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But, and this is key, it's immediately framed within that larger goal. Choose your favorite Hiligaynon statement and support local creators.
So it explicitly connects the dots. Buying the shirt equals cultural pride, language support, and helping local artists make a living.
Yes. It bundles it all into one action. It's a really holistic way of thinking about cultural vitality. It's not just something you talk about. It's something you financially sustain from within.
That elevates it, doesn't it? It's not just display your culture. It's invest in the people keeping the culture alive and evolving. A model for maybe regional economic advocacy through culture.
I think that's a great way to put it. It tackles that modern reality head-on. Culture often needs actual infrastructure, including financial support, to stay visible and relevant in today's world.
And by making these shirts desirable, premium items.
They make sure the Hiligaynon conversation moves into cool, contemporary spaces while directly funding the local creative economy. It's advocacy through commerce. Very smart.
So what does this all mean then?
Yeah.
Wrapping this up, our deep dive shows that, wow, sometimes revitalizing or promoting a language doesn't need massive government initiatives or dusty archives.
Sometimes it just needs a t-shirt.
Yeah, a really well thought out t-shirt strategy. By weaving together language, cultural pride, local business, this Ilonggo community found this really innovative way to make sure their language's beautiful depth isn't just heard, but it's seen, worn, celebrated, keeping that Pamati Local alive and kicking.
And that really raises an important question, I think, for you, the listener, to chew on.
Okay.
If making a word physical, wearable, can help preserve and promote a language and its core values, what other parts of culture could really benefit from being made visible like this?
Like what?
Maybe local history stories, specific traditional crafts, or even, say, regional environmental issues. What benefits most from being put on a shirt or a bag or a pin?
Right. What conversation does your clothing start when you walk out the door? Or what conversation could it start?
Exactly. Something to think about.
That's a great thought to end on. Thanks for digging into this with us today.